Hey there and welcome back. How can you set up the descent of your squat so that your ascent is as effective, is as strong as it possibly can be? Today we're going to talk about a cue. It's really a couple cues that are going to help you achieve the bottom position in your squat correctly. When we teach the squat, one of the first things that we have people do, really the first thing that we have people do, is to get into the bottom position of the squat without the bar. And while they're down there, we point out a couple things. We're going to point out that their hip crease is below the top of their kneecap. We're going to point out that they're nice and leaned over. They got kind of a relatively horizontal back angle. And that their knees, or that their femurs, are pointed out. Really, they're pointed in line with their toes because we've already taught them their stance. So the question is, how do we achieve this position? Because when people start to squat, sometimes getting to that position can be a little bit difficult. Well, before they even get to this position, we give them directions on exactly how to get down there. And in fact, we typically do this the first time they have the bar on their back as well. The cues are, this is the squat trifecta, the triumvirate, the hat trick of squat cues, the triple crown, if you will. I don't care what you want to call them. I usually just refer to it as the trifecta if I call it anything, but here it is. It's hips back, chest down, knees out. The order isn't so important, but those three cues go very well together. Now, yes, typically if we're cueing somebody, we're just going to give one, maybe two cues at a time because cues are supposed to be short. So this typically happens more like in the learning phases of the squat, or you can cue yourself this during your warm-ups when you can spare some mental bandwidth. But what we're really doing is we're helping ourselves solve the geometry problem of taking our bodies and the barbell through a nice long range of motion. Could we try to do so with as vertical of a back, as vertical of a torso as possible? Sure, we could. That's called a front squat. Only that's not the type of squat that we're doing unless, of course, we're Olympic lifting, all right? We're trying to perform the squat in an efficient and as efficient of a manner as possible, as strong of a manner as possible. And so to do this, we've got a geometry problem to solve. We've got segments and joints to get out of the way. So how do we get them out of the way? We shove our knees out. It's technically forward and out. I'm just going to say out. They're going to go in the direction of our toes, and we're going to reach back with our hips and point our chest down. All right, so we're getting our knees out. That kind of creates space for our torso, for our bellies to fit in between our femurs. We're going to reach back. Now, these two things go together, reaching back with your hips and pointing your chest at the floor. If the only thing that you did was reach back with your hips and you didn't lean over, you'd fall over backwards. This is not terribly surprising. If the only thing that you did was point your chest at the floor, in other words, lean over, and you didn't reach back with your hips, you would fall over forwards. So those two cues, hips back or butt back and chest down, those go hand in hand with each other. So try these out next time. It's going to set you up for a really strong ascent. It puts you in the correct position at the bottom so that you can drive your hips up effectively out of the hole. So remember, the squat trifecta: hips back, chest down, knees out. Give it a try. As always, we hope this helps you get stronger and live better.